Hello and welcome back to Football Manager 2019 here with Bassett Football Club trying to take them to the top of Premier League and beyond. So far, very late stages in our first season in Skybet League 2. We are doing wonderfully well. We are just up on the bubble in trying to fight for a playoff spot. And as such, we have a pretty darn important game coming up here. Very shortly against Grimsby Town, who are 6th in the league. We are 10th in the league, but I would think there is only like a couple of points between us. So a win here is definitely a 6-point game. And we will tell Jones here that we are choosing the team here. So as always, we are the manager and choosing the team. We will not be concerned about what other managers think about our choose or choices. So let's see, merch improving steadily here, or extremely much. I don't know if we actually have seen this, but he is definitely developing really good here. Yeah, really taking off after getting playing time here. So merch potential ability here is pretty darn good. And he's 22 years old, yeah. Yeah, he's not really have had playing time. He had the first season, but then didn't develop as good. But now it seems to be taking off really, really, really well. So let's see here, no longer a weakness. All right. We'll do that. Lundstrom injured, unfortunately. And let's continue here, training changes. It's actually been quite a while since I played this game. I've been pretty busy with recording other stuff, actually, for most part FIFA Manager 2020. So do check that out if you are interested. And also Airport CO, so if you're interested in aviation, do check that out as well. Merch signing a new contract here also, and that should be good. That should be really good. Hopefully that will improve his ability to change even better for the future. He might have been on a part-time contract, I don't know, that have hindered him, but yeah, the development we are seeing now is pretty darn crazy, actually. Not so crazy progress there. And yeah, this is definitely a bit slower paced than a FIFA Manager, and that is something you will know also if you have seen my episodes on that. We are going through the season much faster than we are here, but it's two different types of game, but still very much this same type of games, but yeah, different. According to the bookmakers here, we are pretty slight underdogs for the match against Grimsby. And training last week, 7.56 in the first team, 7.92 under 23s, and 6.99 under 18s. So we'll praise here Smith. And nothing more really, and we'll take a look here on the individual level. And merch, of course, as we already seen, really taking a jump here. So we'll praise him for his development. That's been, I said, crazy. And then, of course, we have Gray. That we have pretty much the same thing here. developing really good. Unfortunately, not showing that much of a progress this month, though. And has pretty much the same potential ability, but lower current skill than we have on Merch here. Charles not showing too much. Poncelli, unfortunately, no real player here showing promise. O'Connor here, unfortunately, losing stats. And that is actually not too good at all, since he is our main player here on right as a right winger. Gray is foremost a left winger. The Haaland not showing improvement, not Eknol either, and unfortunately not Gosling either here. And yeah, let's see here. Attribute changes. How is the report here on Gosling? Yeah, he's also only 2 stars, but the potential ability to 3.5 or 4.5 stars. So we're still going to very much focus on our young players here. Gray, Gosling, and Merch. Just minutes ago looked at Merch and totally lost his last name there. A little bit crazy. And as you saw there, let's go back. So Grimsby at 1 point more. So as said, really crazy here. So unfortunately Akinola have a ban here, so got to put in Jordan instead. That's alright. That's not much of a loss, but a little bit. And let's see here. Let's put in June instead, I guess, on the bench. Then we have O'Connor, Gray, Helen, and Charles. Adeloy should have Gosling instead of Adeloy. Gosling, you will play advance forward. There we go. And Poncelli, of course. And I think this is the best team that we have available to us. Sangster could be in the mix. But no, Charles and Haviland is the best midfielder, so they will be playing for most. Then we have, I guess we have Heath, but we will focus here on Gray for now. So we'll submit the team just like this. So we have one lone player too many on the bench here. So I guess we remove you. Yeah, there we go. So we will have only 6 players on the bench instead of 7, but that's totally fine. And we'll kick off straight away and play here and comment the match like we always do here. Bassett versus Grimsby. So actually looking at the 3D engine there a little bit on the highlights, I would say that like this is actually pretty decent. It's like on the same level or maybe even a little bit better than the level is in FIFA Manager 2013-14, the match engine, but that is an engine that is 6 years old, so that's a little bit crazy. And a highlight here, Poncelli with a chance, passing to Gosling, and Gosling shooting well over the top bar there. And I saw that Munden has an injury here, so I guess we should put in Baptiste so he doesn't injure himself more. And yeah, so far Grimsby had the more dangerous chances. Early on there, a very hard shot straight into the top bar. Looking at the stats, we have definitely not been leading in this game so far, and we haven't done that in terms of the highlights either, as said. And we have a new highlight coming on here. It's Grimsby with the ball, passing it to the right, and shoots there and saved, and shoots on the rebound, but just hitting the side netting there. And next highlight here in the 31st minute, Grimsby with a long ball, Merch heading it up, but unfortunately only to the Grimsby players, and it's a goal here for Grimsby Town, unfortunately, but it's been disallowed apparently due to offside. So let's have a look here. How is that offside? Alright, I can't complain, but that definitely looked onside in so many ways. Both players seem to be behind our last man, and also everything else seemed to be behind everything, but alright. And now they have hit the post as well, or the left post, Grimsby, that is. I think they have actually hit the bar, the left post, and the right post. Pretty crazy. Next highlight here in the 43rd minute, and actually looks like it might be for Bassity. Charles with the ball, passing it to O'Connor. O'Connor crossing it in towards Ponticelli, and headed by Grimsby players actually to the keeper of Grimsby Town. So we'll see here what happens on that goal kick. And Grimsby Town picking the ball up easily and shoots and saved there by Baptiste and out for a corner. And only minutes to go here of the first half, and somehow we are still not trailing in this match, and I would say that is a miracle so far. And so the scoreline after one half is 0-0 for Bassett versus Grimsby Town, but yeah, pretty darn terrible to all the players, and our assistant manager have spoken to the players that we would like to have spoken to tell them that we are very much not happy with their performance. So couldn't do that to anyone, but that's all right. So we'll see here if things goes better here in the second half. I would think it doesn't, but we will see. First highlight here in the 56th minute might be for Bassity, but we're losing the ball in the midfield here very poorly. And the ball to Grimsby Town, and here's a through ball to Loft versus the keeper, and it's a goal here for Grimsby Town, unfortunately. And taking the lead there in the 56th minute, scoreline 0-1 for Bassett versus Grimsby Town. And sorry for butchering all the team names, really. Actually, kind of hard to say that. Grimsby Town, I think. Anyway, time for some substitutions here. So, who haven't been performing? Aiken haven't been performing. But we don't really have anyone. We only have midfielders and strikers, actually, on the bench. So Gosling, you're actually going to get replaced by June here. June is not getting much playing time, but he will get a little bit here, just because Gosling not really performing, and we should try and make something different. So we'll show some passion here. I don't think that will work. I would be really surprised if we manage to turn this around to a draw. But we'll see. We do have a highlight going on, but it looks to be for Grimsby Town here again, and it is, and it's another goal here in the 80th minute. So the scoreline, and now 0-2 for Bassett versus Grimsby Town. And I would say that's pretty much it for our chances here to win this game. But you should never say never, but I kind of am saying that right here and right now, so to say. And we actually have had so many yellow cards. Didn't even really look at that when I made changes. But yeah, pretty darn crazy. Highlight here in the 19-minute mark. And another goal for Grimsby Town here, unfortunately in the 19th minute. So I guess that will quite likely be the final result as well. 0-3 for Bath City versus Grimsby Town here so far. And yeah, another chance here. Grimsby Town coming here again in the 92nd minute. And we should have the end whistle here very shortly. Or this should be the highlight for the final whistle, that is. And June here with a small chance maybe. Basically shooting the opponents in their face, angry or something. So the full-time result 0-3 for Bassett versus Grimsby. And not a good result, and that might have been the end of our real chance of reaching a playoff spot here. That dropped us down to 11th place, 4 points up to a playoff spot. And we don't really need to talk about relegation zone because we are far clear from it. So guys, while we are waiting for next match, remember to smash that like button, and if you haven't done so already, hit that subscribe button as well if you want to follow along on the journey, and that small notification bell if you want to be extra sure to don't miss, so you don't miss out on any of the content that we upload daily here on the channel. And speaking of that, and rather speaking of Football Manager 2019, as this is out, I guess Football Manager 2020 will be out. I'm a little bit unsure when this episode will go out, so don't quote me on that as such, or rather if you are happening to see this just as I'm saying this, I know it's probably not many of you that are seeing it, but if you are, let me know your thoughts. So if you think I should continue this series until we are at the goal that we want to be, have capacity in Premier League and out in Europe and everything like that, or you think that I should restart in Football Manager 2020 instead. So some pre-match tactical advice here. I don't really like any of it, so we will not listen to anything. And here for the match against Morecambe, according to the bookmakers, we are only very, very slight favorites against Morecambe, who are 22nd in the league. And by all means, I think then we should be pretty clear favorites, but we'll see. We'll play the match just as usual and see if we are doing good. So we'll move the players here to under 18s as suggested from our coach. Let's see here, what more? Ponticelli losing ability, but he's not really losing ability, he's getting slightly better. I do think, at least, yeah, slightly better, but yeah, he's not really impressing with his performances, or not performance, with his development, so to say, as a player, unfortunately. Let's see here. So all players in pretty good condition. Form-wise, not so much maybe. Merch, you will be staying, and Gray, you will be staying. Yeah, I think you'll all be staying here. What we should do is, of course, put in Akinola instead of Jordan, and we'll put in Jordan on the bench. Yeah, and yeah, we'll continue just straight off here into the match against Morecambe, and we'll hope for a better result and a better match here than versus Grimsby Town. And this time around we are white and black, pretty much the same jersey as Grimsby Town had, and hopefully this time around that jersey will have as a good match as they had in the last match. If we're looking at the stats, it doesn't really look so. We are only having around 1/3 of the possession, and shots is only 2-6, or shots on target 1-3. So we're doing pretty horrible, really, truth be told. So we'll show some passion here. Possession up now to 40-60%, so that's better at least, but not in terms of shots or shots on target. Still looking pretty horrible, or horrific even, one could say. The scoreline after one half though is 0-0 and actually 0 highlights throughout the whole first half. Shots 3-10, shots on target 2-4, possession 39-61% after one half. So as I said, not really looking that great. And our assistant manager talking to quite a lot of players here that we would like to talk to. So can only say to Ponticelli that we're not happy with his performance so far. So we'll shout demand more here as a second shout for the match. And first highlight here in the 53rd, 54th minute. Markham with the ball, but not taking care of the ball properly. And the ball to Gosling, passing to Morris, to Charles here in the midfield. And a long ball up to De Havilland, and he's tripped inside the penalty area, but it's not the penalty, but the ball bounces out to O'Connor, crosses it in towards Ponticelli, and it's a goal here in the 54th minute. Sorry for that cough if you heard that, or if I didn't cut it out, but quite a beautiful goal there by the lads and by Ponticelli, really. And that certainly brings us up to the playoff zone again if we're winning this match. So let's see here. De Havilland is having a little bit of trouble, so let's put in Lundström. And let's put in Sangster. Both our midfielders are actually on the tired side. So we'll do just like that. And he will play defend and support. Yeah, that's fine. So also a little bit of a more defensive lineup with those two in instead of Charles and De Havilland. So quite pleased with a 1-0 victory here, I guess. More would be nice, of course, but our goal difference is really going to be pretty much the same way it is right now, I would say. And this should be the end of the game, or the highlight for the final whistle here in the 95th minute. That's actually quite a long way over the added time. And there we have it. It's all over, and the final score for Bassett versus Morecambe is 1-0. Shots 12-17, shots on target 6-7, possession 50-50%. So definitely came back there in the second half and made the game so much closer in every way in terms of stats, and actually managing to win the game. So that's pretty darn nice, actually. And after that match, 8th in the league. And yeah, 1 point up to a playoff zone. Or a playoff spot. So very close with 9 games to go. Next game against Bristol Rovers, so another 6-point match. Attending only 764 to that game, unfortunately, which is pretty darn low. And we got some bonus paid out to a few players for remaining in Sky Bet League 2. With 9 matches to go, we have secured our spot in the league. And with that said, that will be everything for this episode. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time here on the channel. Bye bye! You have been watching Rawslowgaming, and I hope you have enjoyed. On clicking on the video on the left, you will see the next video in this series, and on the right, our latest upload to the channel. And with that said, thank you again for watching.